Insider standing by with more on this morning's top stories. And first up, millions are hooked on Pokemon Go, and apparently we are. It's our third day talking about it.
Yep.
The number of players closing in on Twitter users in the U.S. The National Security Council issuing an advisory. This is big news as concerns are raised about the impact this new obsession may be having on us all. Dr. Michael Frazier, clinical psychologist, joins us now. And we have been talking about this for many days because we see how many people are doing it. We see it all around on the country here. What kind of impact? Because we hear from people who say they are truly obsessed with this, that they have been doing it nonstop, doctor.
Well, I think a couple of things are important to keep in mind with games like this. First of all, this is the kind of game that involves collecting things. Obviously, it involves collecting the Pokemon. And in games like this, what's important to understand is that we're finding that the brain actually transmits dopamine to the pleasure centers of the brain, which makes this a very pleasurable experience. So when somebody finds the treasure, there obviously is a very pleasurable sensation when they do that, and this keeps them coming back. The game developers absolutely know this, and that's why they've developed games like this. Their job is to get as many people playing the game as possible, and not just that, but to keep them coming back and to keep them playing the game and continuing to collect. One of the things that we definitely feel is that these games should be monitored carefully, and when a person finds that they're playing the game excessively, understanding when they need to say no and when they need to turn the game off.
But Doctor, how young is too young for children to play this game? And as an adult, at what point when you're playing do you say, I need to reel myself in a little bit, I'm going overboard? That's
a great question. This is one of the first games that I've encountered where this actually is requiring people to get up off the couch and out into the real world and out into the environment. So if you're a parent, you certainly want to make sure you're exercising common sense and helping your kids exercise common sense. You want to monitor where they're playing. But if you're a parent, hey, get out there and try the game and play the game. However, one thing I would urge and advise parents to really look carefully at is when your child cannot turn the game off, and when they're getting into arguments or fights and having a hard time saying stop or saying no. And also, if you're an adult, one of the things to keep in mind, as with any addiction, if it's starting to interfere with your job, it's starting to interfere with your relationships, and you're really starting to have to take a look at the role that this game is having in your life.
All things to look out for. You're right about that.
Absolutely. And I'm thankful